So logical volume manager, it's called LVM, right? So in Red Hat 7, Red Hat 7'de bu burada jöneli LVM bolup aytılчу hazır. Жаңы аты менен келди, LVM 2. Solution is widely used for managing disk storage. It provides an abstraction layer between the physical storage and the file system, enabling the file system to be resized to span across multiple physical disks. To span across multiple physical disks. Ona örnekte berdim o. Misalda 3 disk var. Ошону чогултуп туруп üstüge bir file system кыласың да. Okay? Use random disk space. That means like flexible size of. To create LVM logical volume, the physical volumes are combined into volume group. That means this is physical volume, right? This is disk SDB, SDB and SDC. Жакшы көрүнүп атат, свет өчүрчү? Жакшы. So SDB, let's say SDC and SDD, you combine them together and create volume group like this. This is all logical. Then you create physical volumes, which is like LVM, like LV, logical volume, I mean. No, I'm sorry, I'm showing from different way. So these are the physical volumes. So you have 3 disks like I showed right here. Then you create one volume group, VG, volume group. Then you create logical volumes separate, and it can be any size. So benefits are here listed. Online resize. Online again without unmounting it. Volume group and logical volumes. You can online expand volume group and logical volume. Online data migration between logical volume and physical volume. So what does it mean? If one of your disk is failing, if you notice that your disk is failing, you can transfer the data to different disk in the group and remove that disk. Okay, that means the data migration. User defined naming for volume, and you can give any names. Those are the benefits. So LVM structure is made up from 3 key object called. We need to know this by heart. Physical volume, volume group, and logical volume. It's easy. Physical volume is your physical disk. Then you create volume group, combining together. Then you create logical volume from where? From the group. Volume group. From volume group. So physical volume, bulardı arbirini okup çıkmayız. These are the commands for physical volume. In physical volume layer, these are the commands that you can use for different operation. The one you will be using mostly is PV create, that will initialize a disk or partition for LVM use. That means PV create, okay? Create physical volume. Display means just will display for the information. PV resize, so how do you resize the physical volume? PV scan, PVS is short description of the physical volume. Volume group again, show container that we put all the physical disk in it. Now it will confuse a little bit, but when I show you in the example, everything will make sense. Everything will make sense, hopefully. Metadata is data that describes the given information about other data. Okay, so volume group is created when at least one physical volume is added to it. So you can create from single drive a volume group. It doesn't have to be multiple. But later on, if you want to expand that, you can add physical volume. Okay. Okay. The space from all physical volumes in the volume group. Volume group in the middle one. The big one. is aggregated to form one large pool of storage. Bir köптөгөн physical же болсо, it can be physical disk or partition. First of all, you combine them and create large pool of storage, right? Which is then used to build one or more logical volumes. Кейін ошол storage'тен 3 мүшөк унду алып келип, example, 3 мүшөк унду алып келип, баардыгын аралаштырып не кылабыз? Камыр кылабыз. Камыр эмне? Volume group. Анан мындай жулуп аз-аздан токоч кылабыз. Ал logical volume. Биз жулдум, карадың кичинекей болуп калды. Дагы жулуп коёсуң дагы. Чоң этип туруп, набай кыласың го анан. Ошол сыяктуу ойлойм. Okay. So that's the concept. It's very useful tool. It's used everywhere. You will see everywhere, first of all. When you go work, if they are not using logical volume manager, that means they are not using Linux. Okay. Okay, so volume group contains physical volume added to volume group, may be part of every size, any size. LVM writes metadata information. Now metadata, what's metadata?
It's all information that they...
Information about data, right? For the volume group on each physical volume that is added to it. So when you create volume group, each physical volume actually contains the metadata information of volume group. Okay? So you can read here what are the metadata information, what are the information it contains. Like unique ID, date and time of creation, how it was created, how big it is, you know, list of physical volumes, all the attributes, all these informations are metadata informations. And each physical volume, physical disk contain those informations. So there is commands. Commands are very easy to remember. Like pv create, this one is vg create. That means volume group create, right? If you want to display information about volume group, then vg display, vg remove, vg scan.
Can you really touch the physical disk, physical volume? Is it? Can we touch it? Is it physical?
Physical? No, physical disk. You mean the physical disk?
The physical volume.
Let me bring you physical disk. Just for your, you know. So this is logical volume, right? The middle one, the big one, the pool of storage. So you create. No, this is logical volume. Now let's talk about. I got confused. This is volume group. Okay, now let's talk about logical volume, which is this one. Okay?
Which sound?
Which is the main one. The volume group consists of pool of storage taken from one or more physical volumes. This volume group space is divided into one or more logical partition called logical volume or LV. So a logical volume can be expanded or shrunk and can use space taken from one or several physical volumes. So when you create volume group, if you create large, that contains multiple physical volumes, right? We will see that. Team provisioning, I'm not going to be talking about that. It's something else. Steps to create LVM. Let's create one. Benim kompüterim off oldu. So do we need a okay, let's keep doing it. Anybody has a question still? Kanat? Okay, so I need to log into my first. Let's ping. Of course, it can ping. So SSH DNS. Let's be root at DNS. So if config, yeah, this is the same one. Yes. Now let's talk about steps again. So this is Linux partitions. First we need what? Partition. Let's create some partitions. How do I know that if I have a disk or not?
Do you have -H?
No. ls block.
LS block.
df-h only shows mounted ls block. So I do have SDB. I will go and delete everything right now because I want to show you from beginning. Okay, it has some partitions. We remember this from last class, but it will be practiced as well. So how do I delete the partitions? Fdisk dev SDB. How do I print how many partitions I have?
Command them for help. No.
That's good.
P for print.
P. Anybody remember? Okay.
Yeah.
If I need help, so I have right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 partitions. If I want, I can use M for help. And P says here print the partition table. Okay, we have talked about this before. So D says what? Delete the partition. So I do D, and default it's selected 6. Okay, select 6. D again. 5 is gone. Okay. D again. 4 is gone. So it will choose the default. But if you wanna, no, I don't wanna delete 4, but I wanna delete 2. You can put here. But since we have to delete everything, I will go with all of them.
So we have to do it by one by one. Buy one and get second for free.
Buy one get one free then. Okay, so now I have deleted. Did I save?
No.
No. If I just exit here, it's not gonna be deleted, right? So I have to save that.
W.
So let's go back. Let's go back to the disk and print the partitions. Nothing. So we will create this part. Now we have one disk here. Let's say we have one disk here. We are gonna create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 partitions, but we will be creating only 3 right now. Then we will. Okay, then so new, create new partition. Primary or extended? Primary. 1. That's fine. Initial point, starting point. It's good. So I want to create plus 500 megabyte. Okay. 500 megabyte is set. Let me create second one. Primary, sure. Number 2, yes. Starting point will be default plus another 500. So we have 2 separate 500. Create new one. Primary, sure. Default 3, okay. Plus another 500 megabyte. Okay. Now if I don't say, what will happen?
It's not gonna create.
Okay. Now I have saved it. Now how do I check? Again, ls block. So I have 3 partitions. You can, now there is a partition ID I was showing you in the last class, right? Bunch of partition types. You can check the label, no, partition type. You can check the type to LVM because we are going to be using for LVM. So you can do that while you are creating the partition, but you can also do, or you can also change later. If you see here, T option for change partitions ID. So I will change it. I will say, if I change it, okay, T. Yes. It's saying like which partition you want to change. Okay, I will change 3 first. It says what is your change type or code. I don't know the code by heart, so I will ask for help. Which, okay. Now these are the codes. Now we will be using for LVM, which is, so we put 8E. Now your partition has been changed to from Linux to Linux LVM. Now I want to change the all other ones.
So you have to change for all this to LVM, right? All the
That's
partitions.
optional. That's optional.
That's optional.
But that's preferred way, because when you later on when you see the partitions, you can tell that, oh, this is being used for LVM. Okay. Okay, we know the code, so we will type 8E. Why it's still being, still keep selecting partition number 3.
Maybe you need to save first and
Oh no, I should define the second one. Now I want to change second one because first one we changed already, right? 8E. Now if you do P print, now I have changed 2 of them. It's LVM. One is still Linux. Let's change that one too. I will select the partition number. And what's the code? 8E. Okay. Save it. Now I have 3 different partitions with LVM type of level, right? Type ID. Now what's next step? We have our partitions here. We have these yellow ones, partitions. We need to create physical volume using command pv create. It's very easy. You just, all you have to type is like pv create and give the partition device block name, which is device SDB1. Yeah, this is the way, but you should be able to create multiple. No, let's first create one. So physical volume dev FDB is successfully created. Okay, now how do I display PVS? So don't worry about this because this is created when you were installing the Linux file system. This is ours. Okay, now let's try to create all together. 2 and dev SDB3. Okay, so you can run one command for all of them. So we have 3 physical volumes created. Okay, next what we will do? Volume group. Now we are gonna throw all 3 partitions into one volume group, which is container. Let's do that. Okay, which command?
VG
create.
/dev.
What was the syntax? VG create, and we need to give some name. So how we want to call this?
Volume group.
Let's give Okay, so we are gonna, let's do tech VG. No, let's do this VG tech 1. Okay. Now we have to list all the. Do we have to put the option G here? No, I don't think so. Okay, we have to list all the devices, physical volumes that will be part of it, right? Technically, these ones right here. So we will be using this one, space, which is 2, space 3. So VG Tech 1 is successfully created. How do I display that? VGS. It will display everything, all the available volume groups. How do I specifically display with more information? VG display, okay, and VG name, VG Tech 1. So now, if you see here, this is important. Name is VG Tech 1. Format LVM 2. Don't worry about this. Now size. VG size 1.45 gigabyte space available, because we combined 3 disks together. Now it's showing the full size in the middle. Okay, I will talk about this later. This is physical extent size 4 megabyte. Okay, we will talk about this later, but I just want you to remember right now. Now, what's next step?
Physical, and then volume group.
So volume group has been created.
And then logical volume.
Logical volume. If you see here, as you see here, it can be created any size. So we will create one logical volume. Okay, LV create. Okay. Hyphen. Let's look for the command help page. Yeah, usage. So LV create. This is your command. It says you have bunch of options here. If you wanna spend, I mean not spend. If you wanna give the size, this one, logical volume size, using this megabyte, gigabyte, or terabyte, you should use capital L. But this is also for size, little small l. But you have to define the size with extents, okay? Extent'i düşündürmem gerekiyor. Hazır, let's go by size. So it says use capital, right? LB create capital L. We need to give size. Let's make it 1 gig.
Too few.
No, we have only 1.5 gig.
Yeah, that's correct.
Let's create 1. We have only 1. Yeah, you cannot exceed the total size of the volume group. So next option will be N, because we need to give some name for this, which is here. So this will be logical volume Tech 1. Okay, let's create this. Oh, we have to specify where to take the space. We didn't specify the volume group. So we are trying to create here. So let's give the no, not slash, just you give the name. What was the name? VG Tech 1. So as you see here, logical volume LV Tech 1 is successfully created. How do I display the information? LVS. This is for short information. What is the size of it?
1 gigabyte
Where it's sitting?
under
Volume group,
Volume.
take 1, right? This guy is sitting under here. So you have root volume group, which is created by default when you install during the installation. So what is the name of for it? LV, CL. Okay. So what's next step? We have created volume, logical volume, and what might be the next step? Huh?
Mount it?
No. Yeah, before mounting it, did we create file system?
No.
We need to create file system. It's still like raw disk, right? Cheeky the pro. We have to create file system, but the creation of file system and mounting is but creation is same as partition.
Yeah,
Okay.
you do.
So what was the command for file system? MKFS.
Belki zafadan olarak kebut aldım. Logical wall, volume group.
Oşu attan ödürdü.
Belki bunu fizikaldan başladık da birinci partition created. Arkadan degende jo süretli şunday. Jo bunu yakta ben bunlar üstünden çizdim. But you need physical disk first, right? Okay. So make file system. What type you want? Let's create ext4. 4.
Hyphen T.
Hyphen T for type. ext4. Now we need to give full pass for the logical volume, which is dev.
LV.
By the way, all the volume group and logical volume that we have created, store it under where?
Device.
Device file, because it's device file.
SDB1
LV.
No.
LV tech one, right?
Here. Mapper. Mapper. It will go under mapper, but sometimes it goes directly as well, like for some other information. VG
Tech.
test mesh tech. Huh?
Alright, aslındaki.
Okay. Now it should create file system. Now we have a partition. Is it same like creating 1 gigabyte of partition, but we have advantage of expanding it online here, right? So we need to mount somewhere. mkdir. I will mount under root, right, or opt. I will call it lv. No, don't call it lv. Take mount. Okay. Now how do I mount it? Mount hyphen a.
source and destination.
For what? Mount just block device and file.
The source line and the
Source and destination, yeah. Block device and mount point, okay? So that source and destination is called block device and mount point. Please remember this. No, after that, let's mount it.
So block device is the first, right?
So what's the block device?
So it's def and then mapper or VG.
For block device,
Widget tech 21.
you have directly VGTech under.
21.
It's not technical. Take one, and we have only one logical volume. We wanna mount under.
Under OPT tech mount.
Where is it? That's it. How do I check it? If you see here, we have, well, some spaces goes for metadata and information.
A lot of space.
Yeah. you have 907 megabyte available on
хотя one
OPT
gigabyte.
Techjob, right? Now you wanna expand this one. We need to expand. It's mounted right now online without disturbing application. Let's assume that applications are running on it and users are using it. Okay? So there is a command. First of all, to expand, we have to check VGS. Do we have a space or not? VGS. What was our VG name? VG Tech 1. So free space is only 464. Let's use 400 to expand. Okay. So what are we expanding?
Volume
No.
group.
Logical volume.
Logical volume.
So LV
LV.
extend. There is two command. It does same mission. You can use LV extend or LV resize. Okay, resize is same command for expand or shrink. But if you use expand, you can only expand. If you wanna use shrink command, LV reduce. There should be this command like LV reduce. Okay. So we wanna use LV resize right now. So we wanna resize, but when you resize, you have to create file system, right? You resize the disk, and at the same time you wanna create file system on the new size, new chunk of data. So -R option for
Recursively?
not
No?
recursively. -R for resize file system. FS for file system. Resize file system. So resize. LV resize -R. So in the same command you can resize, right? Same thing. If you give like capital L, you have to specify the space, but you have to put plus because you are adding, right? If you see here on the resize, you have to do either plus or minus. So plus 400 megabyte. Why it's not? 400 megabyte. Then what are we resizing?
We're resizing VG Tech 1.
Where is it?
It's under there.
Okay. This guy, right? Very good. It says successfully resized, then file system has been also resized. Okay?
So
This much more than existing one. So we didn't unmount this. Now let's check again. Before it was showing how much?
900.
Now it's showing 1.3 gigabyte.
Başka bu DFT'nin ne çok olur mu? Bu
Emeni,
kaç milyon kuruş?
Just mounted.
huh?
Persistence?
Persistency. Every time you create something, you have to make it persistent. So-
PIETCS start.
Yeah. So now I will unmount this so we can make sure that our persistency contains no error. Okay.
You mount.
Yeah. Normally you don't unmount it. Let's add this information. So I will just copy this, so I don't have to type it. Okay. Where is it?
ETC.
Under
First start.
FS tab. How do I go all the way bottom? Good, okay, good. How do I make my cursor one line below and insert mode? One button.
I.
No.
Just press
Let's say I'm here. How do I make it next line, but insert mode?
Capital I.
Mm-mm.
O.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's insert mode already. I don't have to like
Çoğum onları.
Şu an bir
Sıkmakta
ne?
Direkt alalım.
Let's make it persistent first. So ext 4. That's for no. We are missing something. What are we missing?
Anime. OPT.
Destination, which is
OPT.
no. How? What is the
No,
mount?
Point.
Mount point. Okay, mount point.
OPT.
OPT. OPT.
Mount point.
Now we have to specify
XT4.
extension.
XT4. Then default 00.
Yeah, make sure you type this correct. I always type this wrong, so I will copy it. Okay? If you type wrong, what will happen?
It will stop the laptop.
When you reboot the system, it won't come up because it's trying to mount. It will keep trying to mount it. So now everything is good, but I need to test. Okay? Before I go down. This is the very, very important task in the exam. After you make it persistent, please make sure that system mounts it. So how do you test? First, before you testing, you unmount. You mount this mount point. Okay. Now it's unmounted. So there is a command mount -a. Why it's testing? Because when you run mount -a, it will mount everything under etc fstab, right? Everything defined under etc fstab. So it didn't give me any error. So that means my entries are correct. If I do df-h, I will see it back. Okay, let's take a break. Arkadaşlar LVM grounding konsept düşündük mü? Anan bunun stepleri de olaylı. Sebebi komandalar oşol emege action'la physical volume group kabınday ukaştırdı. So there is a command LVM disk scan. This is actually first command that you have to run. Let's say you have added like new disk to your system, physical disk, and how do you search for it? You can run LVM disk scan and LVM disk scan. It should print all the disks currently available. It's like a similar like fdisk -l stuff. Okay. Block ID. So there is also a command, very useful command called block ID. So when you create partition like dev sdb1 like here, it will get unique ID, unique identifier, and you can use this identifier and mount your disk. Let's create one actually. Let's create this. What was it called again? So UUID, unique
Identifier.
unique identifier, but I still forget.
Block ID.
Universally unique ID number. So
GUID is the global unique identifier.
yeah, universal unique ID number. Okay. So let's create a partition and mount the partition actually using UUID. Okay. How do I create a partition?
Disk.
F disk dev sdb new extended. Yeah, it's important here. We need to select extended. If I select primary, I can select primary like typing here P. But by default it's giving me extended. So I need to use extended so I can create more partitions. This is very important point for exam. Okay. Yeah, when I do extended I will just give whole amount. By default this is the last sector. So now if I print, it created 3.5 extended partition. So again I will create new one and I will say okay, starting point same, ending point I will do like plus 500 megabyte. And W for write, ls block. So this is the situation. I just created third partition. Where is it? I mean fourth partition. Actually it should show up as fifth, right? Because fourth is for extended.
Yes.
And fifth should be our partition. Do you guys see it here?
Yes. On the A, SDA.
Oh, did we use SDA?
No, we can try pro. You can. We can try.
Did I use SDA? No, SDB.
SDB.
So yes, this is the situation. Examinde şunday partition create kılıp ls block deseniz çıkmay kaldı. What is the issue? Yes, part pro, but what is the issue?
The kernel.
Kernel, yeah, didn't update the partition table. Kernel still thinks that there is 3 partition. There is a command to push kernel's update to kernel. That's called part pro. Now if I do ls block, now you guys can see our new, but this one actually, this is for extended. Okay, if it is 1 kilobyte, this is byte. It's not even one kilobyte, it's byte. Okay?
1K'de çıkmazıyor.
Yeah, well, it depends. Like, so how do I find out UUID of my partition? There is a special command actually, but let's forget about it. But let me create file system first. Make fs. I wanna create like ext3. In the exam they might ask you to create ext3. This is a little bit older version, but some file systems or applications may require this type of file system. So ext3. Make fs ext3. Okay, dev sdb file. It's created. Now when you mount, I want to do ls block id, right? Okay, block id, and I want to do, let's create mount point opt. Okay, we will call it uuid. Now I want to do mount. This is our UUID, I guess. No, should I give only UUID or LVM member? Let's try. Oh, we might.
SDA.
Oh yeah. How come SDA has 5 partition? Did we create? We need this one. Actually, we might need like whole UUID equal to numbers. Okay. Type ext. Okay, like this. I mean, let's try this way. We are mounting this one under opt
UUID.
Why it's not typing? /opt UUID. Okay, now it's mounted, right? If I do df-h, as you see, this SDB5 is mounted. So all I wanted to show you here was we can use universal unique ID number to mount the file system. Okay, you can also use this one like this and put where to make it persistent. If you notice here, boot partition is using UUID actually for its mount. That's why every time when you boot up the system, it will mount here. So in this case we have ext3, okay, and the rest will be same. And if you do like save it, unmount it. So to make sure you mount first opt UUID, then mount -a for df-h. Okay, let's check the book if we have more stuff. Good. So again, I have step-by-step configuration here. How to change the types, right? How to create partition step by step. You can easily create yours. PV create -v disk partition. -v is for verbose. You don't need this one. If you wanna see the output like this, you can put this. Oh, okay. One more thing. Let's create another LVM using our. Let's create another logical volume using our volume group. Like I said, let's first print the space. We have only 32 megabyte available. So
No, we have 64 over.
64. Oh yeah, 64 megabyte, right? It's very small size. So let's add disk to our group. So basically, we are adding disk to where?
Volume group.
So we are creating new disk like this and creating physical disk, then adding to existing volume group. So we have more space to create another logical volume. Okay, let's do that. Fdisk, I will be a little fast. Okay. SDB, new partition. Okay, partition 6 by default. Okay, and let's do plus 500 megabyte again. W to write. How do I change the partition? Look, this is optional. Optional because later on, if you wanna run like block ID stuff, so you can see your partition like, oh, okay, it is LVM member. Okay, type LVM. This time, let's change it. Changing default 6. Okay, my code will be 8E W. Save it. Now, what's next? We have to create
File system.
physical volume. File system. Huh? Physical volume. PV create -v for verbose. Dev SDB SDB 6. Now it's not found. Okay, not found. Why it's not found?
Can I try?
Yeah.
Because if disk has only 4 partition.
No.
Part
Part probe. LS block. Kernel couldn't catch the new partition. So part probe. Okay. Now if you do again, now it found it and it created successfully your physical volume. So we need to add this physical volume to existing volume group so we can have size. So VG not create, existing, extend, VG name, I believe, yeah. What's VG name? VG Tech 1 and our device dev SDB 6. Okay, successfully extended. If you run VGS, you have now 560. Before it was 60. Okay, now we can create new LVM. New LVM. How do I create?
LVM create.
Logical volume create. Okay.
L for size.
Hyphen L. No, we don't want to use L right now. We wanna. I was gonna show you small L, right? The other way of giving.
Extend that.
Yeah. If you go here in the options, you have capital L and small L right here. If you use this little L, it will do what?
Extend.
You have to use extend. Now, what is the extend? Extend is extend can be checked under VG display command. VG display, VG name, VG tech 1. This is the extend I was telling earlier. So one extend equal to 4 megabyte. Okay, I wanna show you extend actually. What? Not like this. I will show you what's extend. Yetmiyor birazcık fazla. Okay. We have our PE size of 4. So if you do LV create hyphen L, let's do, we wanna create 400 megabyte of LVM. What's the size of PE? 100. Good. Because our default extent is 4 megabyte, right? Now
Specify the name.
Name hyphen N LV PE. Okay, it's PE. LV PE. And what's the volume group? I think we need to give the full pass, which is
Under
the
the VG.
map there. Oh, VG. Okay, it doesn't take it, so you have to type VG tech bile.
VG tech 1.
That's it, that should be it. Okay, volume created. Now if you check the size, LV display will give you more information. Just LVS will give you little overall short information. Okay, and we can specify the name LV P. Okay, you should give the full pass. Dev what? VG
tech 1.
tech, then LV PE. If you give the full pass here, this is the command. So L, where do you guys see LE?
Current LA 100.
Yeah, current logical extent is equal to 100. LV size is equal to 400. Okay.
So